welcome to my craft room. Got a new pop-up card, and this time it's super cute and I love it for Halloween. I redesigned my twist pop-up card so it would fit inside this cauldron. So you've got that, and then you open it up. You got Happy Halloween and Boo. So it's gonna be fun. But first, I need you to go into my description and click on the Cricut link there. That will put the base for this card onto your Cricut mat and you'll be ready to go. So let's go make it. Okay, here we are on the canvas. If you do not have this on your canvas, go down to my description, click on the Cricut link, and Cricut will put this on your canvas and you'll be ready to go. Here is our envelope. I'll talk about that more on the craft table. I'm going to move that out of our way. We are not going to use these three since we are going to do the cauldron shape. So let's get rid of those. We are not going to use this because, again, we're going to use the cauldrons. So we can get rid of that. We are going to use this, but first it's going to be a different size. Instead of this size, it is going to be 9 inches wide. Don't worry about the height. Just see it. Make sure you go to edit. Make sure you have your button locked. And we're just going to change this from 10 to 9. And we are going to change this from 8 to 7. That is so our pop-up will fit in our cauldrons. There we go. Now, let's do some colors. If it's got a score line or a pen line on it, you have to go into layers. Okay, we're doing this one right here, and we're going to change it to black. And I want this one. There we go. And then on this one, we are going to change this one to black also. Edit, color, black. There we go. And all 4 of these are going to be our bright green. Okay, so here's the easy way. You can just grab all of them because they don't have a score line or a pen line on them. And I don't really have a bright green. I'm going to pick this middle green, but I'm going to make it go way up here. Okay, and there we go. We got our 4. Now, it's time to get our images. So you're going to go down here to images. If you have never searched for images by their code number, all Cricut images start with #M. Your cauldron is this first one, 3E1F08F7. You see that I have made you a whole list here of each of your images that you need. So there we go. You pick that. You click on it, it puts it down here. Whoop. You see, I was working on it earlier. Then it puts it down here by your ad. And then just keep doing that. You don't need to watch me look up all these numbers. I am going to fast forward from here. And I will meet you over the canvas once you get all your images put on yours. Okay, you've got all your images. Here we are on the canvas. We are going to clean up a couple of our images first. On our cauldron, you're going to hit ungroup. We do not need these guys. We're going to delete. On this, we only need the fire. So we are going to ungroup. We are going to pull our fire off. Then we are going to delete the rest. Then on this, we only need the bubbles. So we are going to ungroup. Don't touch the bubbles because they're all separate. Oops, let me get this boo out of our way. Because they're not grouped. So you do not want to get one out of line here real quick. Okay, so we don't need all of that. We only need the bubbles. And while we've got all of our bubbles together, I am going to highlight all of them. And this is going to be 3 inches wide. There we go. Okay, you're almost done with this. While we're here, let's go ahead and get this done. We only need one of these, but we need 3 of the bubbles. So you're going to hit duplicate twice, duplicate, duplicate, and there you go. Your potion and all your bubbles are done. So I'm going to move these over here. Now we need our cauldron. First, we need to make it, and then we will change its size. So I'm going to bring this up here where we can see it better. And we also need 2 extras for our liner. So I am going to duplicate this once for the other black one. And then I'm going to duplicate it another time for our liner. And once I get that all fixed, then we will duplicate that. But first, let's get our cauldron put together. Now, here is my problem. I can't see what I'm doing if this is in black, because none of the lines, nothing shows up. So what I'm going to do, just to do this part, I'm going to change these to white. So I'm going to highlight both of them and just change them to white real quick. Okay, now we are going to turn one upside down. There you go. And then we're going to weld these 2 together. I don't know if you've ever welded before, but first it's got to be overlapping a little tiny bit. Not much, just a little bit. About right there. Okay. Now, once you've got it overlapped like that and it's all even, then you're going to drag your finger or your mouse, grab both of those, and then right down here in the middle, you'll hit weld. And boom, you just made your card. Okay. Now, you need a score line in the middle to fold this. So you're going to go to shapes. You're going to, and there it is. And it's already a score line because it's dotted. So we don't have to do anything to that. We're going to turn it sideways. And we are going to put it right here in the middle. Now, there, we've got our score line right in the middle. Now, we're going to drag our finger or our mouse again, catch both of those, and right down here, it says attach, and you're going to hit that. That tells Cricut it wants a score line on that piece of paper. And now we are going to turn it back to its original color, which, now that it has a score line on it, has to be done in layers. Now we're going to turn it back to black. There we go. Look at that. We've got to change its size. So this card is going to be 5 inches wide. And now we need it 10 inches tall. So we're going to have to unlock this button between width and height and change this to 10. There we go. And then we're going to relock it just because. Okay, there is your card base. Now let's make your liner. Your liner is going to be 4.5 for the size. There we go. This is going to be the bright orange. Okay, and of course we need 2 of those, so we're going to duplicate. So there's your inside liner right there. There we go. Okay, there's that. We've got our bubbles done. So basically all we need to do is our pop-up. Oh, except for our fire. The fire is going to be 3 inches wide, so just a little bigger. There we go. That one's done. We'll check your colors here in a little bit. So all we need to do is this and this. Okay, the problem with the boo, I'm going to make it bigger here so you can see what I'm talking about, is I can't put a set height on these because they're not all the same height. So I need to separate these, and Cricut's not going to separate them because they're all one color. You see how this ungroup is gray? So the easiest way to do this, you're going to go into shapes, you're going to hit square. And I'm going to show you how to slice. This is going to change some things if you've never sliced before, because it's very interesting. Okay, make your square big enough to cover your letters. And you're going to cover the B, but not either of the O's. Then you're going to drag your finger or your mouse. Oh, sorry, I grabbed my envelope. Drag your finger, grab all of them, and then you hit slice, which is next to the weld that we just used. Here's what we sliced out, and here's what's left. But the 2 O's are still together, so I need to separate those. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Slice. Okay, I don't need this anymore, and I don't need this anymore. So I'm going to delete those. And now we have all three separate. I just need these all to be the same height. So let's just make them all 5 inches. That's not how high they're going to end up, but that's what I need right now. 5 inches. It'll be easier for us to work this way. There we go. And then we want all of these black. Black. There we go. Now we need to do our offsets. Let's do that first, and then I'll go back and put the little eyeballs in your O's. So first, let's do, you're going to go to Edit, and then you're going to hit this offset button. And let's see. Oh, you see how that little, it's starting to cut out of the middle of the B? You don't want that. So let's go a little bigger. Let's try 0.57. That looks good right there. Okay, and then that is going to be the bright orange. Okay, these should all stay the same now. See, now it pulls up to 5.7, but look, see that there you might have to adjust it a little tiny bit. So 0.6. That's perfect. So done. Done. And then bright orange. And then this offset. Perfect. Done. And bright orange. Got it. So now it's easier for us to go ahead and put our eyes in. We're going to go into shapes. We need a half of a circle right here. And it is going to be 1 inch wide. There we go. We're going to make it black. Okay, and then let's double check that it's the right size. I'm going to have to bring it up a bunch where I can see, and that is perfect. So let's duplicate this. So now you've got one for either side. You're going to push this all the way over until it's almost sticking out the other side. Okay, just like that. And then you're going to want to put these right next to each other and make sure that your eyes are kind of even, you know. So they both look like they're looking in the same spot, which is good. So you're going to pick these two and weld, and these two and weld, and there's your eyes. Now, all we need is the white background. So we're going to go back into shapes, grab an oval. We're going to turn it around. I'm going to go ahead and turn it white so I can see it better. And then once you unlock it, you can pretty much look. You can make it do kind of whatever you want. So let's kind of get it here. And look, I almost got it just right. I am going to do the width at 4.55 and see what that is. Okay, and the height, 1.9. There we go. That looks pretty good. All we needed to do is cover our eye. So I'm going to hit arrange and put send to back. And then I'm going to duplicate. There we go. Group. We're going to put these right in the middle. There we go. Okay, now make sure that you relock your button. These, now that we've got it, are going to be 2 1/4 high, 2.25, 2.25 high, and 2.25. Uh-oh. Oh, I messed up. This is why I group everything. Okay, now back to edit. And 2.25. There we go. Okay, so there your boo is done. Let me put it over here so we can kind of keep track of what's going on. Oops. And your happy Halloween. And this will be square, so it's going to be 1.6. There we go. I'm going to bring this up so you can see. And that goes right there. Okay, now over on these bubbles, this is your base for your bubbles. And they're going to go here. All right, hold on. I'm going to send this to the back. There we go. I didn't show you this on the canvas because I ended up slicing out some, but we're going to trim that so it's straight across and it runs right along this fold. So let's check our colors first. Let's go into sync. We've got black, a medium green, a light green, only we want all of these light greens to be the same. So we're going to drag these. You just hold down the 3 little lines and drag them into the color that you want. No use of cutting 2 different light greens. There we go. And we want our fire to be down here in our regular orange. Okay, I only had 2 different colors of green. This medium green and this light green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change all of these darker greens and put them up with my other darker green. And I'm going to take all of these light greens and put them up there with my light greens. Or you can do all 4 colors. That's totally up to you. But I'm not going to sit here and show you doing all of that. Here is your white, your orange, yellow, your different greens, and black. So there you go. So you are set. I am going to ask you one more favor before we get over to the craft table. I need you to put this together. I need to glue glue these together, and he should have the white oval, white behind here. So don't let that throw you. Okay, do your white on the back of your O's first, and then glue them all onto the orange background. Go ahead and make this sign for me. Go ahead and glue it on the green. And glue all your bubbles together. Not onto here. Don't glue anything onto here. Just glue all of these together. And I'm going to point out real quick. And then when I made these and when I glued them together, I made them all the same color. Instead of having this lighter background or this lighter background, I just did them all in the 2 colors. And I really like the bubbles without the lighter background. I made them the exact same color. Because I just want a suggestion of the reflection, not a really, really distracting circle there. So put your bubbles together, put your fire together, and put your boo and your happy Halloween together. And then when we get over on the craft table, it's going to go super fast. So I'll meet you over there. Okay, guys, here we are at the craft table. As you can see, it is well loved. First, I use art glitter glue. I buy it with the refill, the small thing, this little tiny tip. A little bit goes a long way. Envelope. I bought a ream of larger copy paper, 12 by 18, so I could make these lightweight envelopes. Of course, you can make it out of cardstock too. And both of those are hooked in the description. My other tip is I put everything on paper plates to keep myself organized. Here's all your bubbles. It just helps, and then I just use them over and over and over again. Okay, here I went ahead and folded our cauldron, and sorry about this. I was making an iron-on thing, sweater, Rydell High sweater for our special needs adult sock hop dance, and I hit my arm with my iron. So Cricut got me. Okay, I do not like these middle legs here. Plus, if we want to put our fire on here, it makes no sense that you can see the legs behind it. So all I did was just snip them off. So, and that's a personal choice. See how much better that looks? Okay, let's do the front of our card. Okay, you're just going to put the fire right there in the middle at the bottom. Okay, so that makes it easy. Now, I told you on the canvas, as far as our base for the bubbles, or the potion, or whatever you're going to call it, I'm going to call them bubbles. So, your choice. Okay. I told you on the canvas that we were going to make this straight. I had already done it on my canvas with slice, but you know, you don't need that. Just trim this straight. And all we're doing is using it as a background. I made it small enough to where you could still see the edges of the cauldron, so you still got the shape. So we're going to glue this on the front. And you want to put it right up against the edge of the cauldron, but in the middle, so the edges of your cauldron still show. There we go, just like that. And now we're just going to fill it in with the bubbles. It doesn't have to be exact. I start out with these kind of bigger ones just because they're big and they're good for going in the background. And I am just, oops, you know what I did? I didn't turn it right. On the graphic on Cricut, it has all the bubbles either going this way or this way, which makes sense because they're, I guess, reflections. So then I'm going to put the lighter color here, maybe another bigger lighter color next to it. Right. Now I'm going to move this one over just a little bit, and then I'll put something small right there in between the two. So we're basically right now just trying to cover this, and then we'll drip it down the side here in just a second. And you can put these wherever works for you. I just kind of put this on here as a guide. You know, I left the background of the bubbles as a guide. So we could see, and if we happen to have a little bit of paper showing through, we can just leave it because that's not a big deal. Okay, probably this size. This is your nickel, probably your nickel size. Whoa. And let's see. Let's put him about right here. Okay. I'm going to put another smaller light colored one. And this is all personal preference. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. You can do it however you want. It's your card. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more, probably light one. Just make sure that you're not going above your fold right there, and you'll be doing good. Okay. I'm going to put one more light color one right here. Oh, I'm going to turn its reflection the other way, though. So it's a little bit different than the one that's right next door. There we go. Now look at that. Look how cute that is. Let's do one of the larger light ones. We're going to start dripping it down the side here. And of course, you don't have to have your little reflections anywhere specific. Okay, here is your largest of the dark green that you've got left. Let's put that one right there. And one more largest light green. And then I'm going to put a couple of the really, really tiny ones. Not really, really tiny, like, I don't know, medium-sized ones. This isn't the smallest, but you can kind of see what size it is. And we're just going to casually drip them down the cauldron. Okay, hold on. This is really small. There we go. Just like that. And that's looking lopsided. So I am going to add another light over here on one side because it's not looking right. There we go. That's much better, isn't it? Okay, now look, there's our cover all finished. Look what a great job you're doing so far. Okay, now let's open this up. First, let's get our orange backgrounds put on. Again, I'm going to cut off these little legs. Exactly, actually, to tell you the truth, I'm going to go ahead and trim all of these off. Because for the inside, it just works better. We've got about 1/4 of an inch all the way around gap, and so you don't want your orange legs hanging out on the outside of your card. So let's get all 4 of these cut off. There we go. Let's glue this guy in real fast. Again, about 1/4 inch. And it doesn't matter about the top of the cauldrons here because they're going to be hidden by the pop-up. Okay, so there's that. We're going to set that aside. Okay, guys, I'm going to break in here real quick. I messed up. So I had to go back and remake my pop-up. But as you can see, I went ahead and put my bubbles on. Don't worry about that. I'm going to show you how to do the bubbles in a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and do your pop-up. Okay, this that you've already made goes on the very right-hand side, and you're just going to center it. It's probably about an 1/8 of an inch or so all the way around, just like that. Then you've got your boo, so let's go ahead and get our letters put on here. Make sure that your eyes are looking to the right. Because you want them looking at the sign. Quick and easy. Now, I messed up on the first pop-up, so I've got it all fixed. No biggie. Just ignore that I've already got the bubbles on the cauldron because we're going to put the mechanics in and then I'm going to show you how to do the things. But since I'd already done them, there was no reason for me to show you again. Okay, so now we're just going to do the exact same thing. Super simple. Here we go. There's our boo. Which, if you're giving this to a loved one, it could mean both. Scary and hey, boo. Okay, look, there's our super cute pop-up. Now, the last thing that you have left besides your bubbles is your mechanics. This is what's going to make your pop-up pop up. And my special needs guy thinks that's really funny. When I say it makes your pop-up pop up, he just thinks that's hilarious. Okay, you're going to do one, and now we're going to do the other. There we go. Now, we've got both, and now we're going to fold them backwards because that's what they're going to end up. But when you first do it, it's easier to fold them towards you, which is what we're going to do with this horizontal score line, just like that. Now, you're going to take your finger and put it right there in the middle of your X and push back on either end. There you go. Now, you see how you have those two triangles? That's exactly what you want. And now we're going to push this in until it folds into a house shape. So you're just going to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. And there you go. That's your house shape. Okay, now, this is going to go right in here. Okay, right at your fold. You want to make sure that you have it pretty much in the middle and straight. You know, doesn't have to be perfect, but in order for your pop-up to fit in here, it's got to be right up in the fold. Okay, so first, let's put glue. We're only putting glue on the triangle. So you want to put it pretty close to your edge. You want to make sure it's got really, really good foundation, because this is what's going to, again, pop up your pop-up. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways so I can see. I'm going to make sure that I have it in the middle and as close to my fold as possible. And then I'm going to close the card because that's important. It won't fit in your envelope if you can't fold it. So see, I'm actually probably about between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch away from the fold, because when I folded it, that's what it forced it back to, which is perfect. Now we're going to do the other triangle. There we go. And now you're just going to close your card. Put a little bit of pressure on there to get it a good thing. And then boom, just like that. Look, you've got your mechanics in. Now this is not made to lay flat. Okay, it is made to display just like this. Okay, so all we need to do now is hook up our pop-up, and then you're going to go do your bubbles here. Okay, and then you'll be done. We want to know where the middle of this is, so we're going to fold it in half like that. And you are going to put your middle right in the middle of your X. It's right there in the middle of the X. So I'm going to hold this down, and then I'm going to open it back up again. Now, you see how this pop-up thing is thicker? I needed that for it to work, and I'm going to show you how we're going to trim it off here and at the very end, okay? So now that you've got it, you've got your middle in the middle, you're going to flip back this one side, and you're going to glue on this square only. Now, don't do it all the way up at the top if you've got a little bit of a gap, because we're going to cut that off so it's not overhanging where you see, okay? But the triangles need to be that size, just like that. And then you're just going to push it into your square. And now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, only this time, mine got turned just a little bit. This time we're going to do it on the bottom square. Okay, I have to turn it so I can see. Okay, so, and you're not going to go above the score line. You're just going to do this little square right here. Okay, and then you're going to lay this down and get it glued on. Okay, now you may have to kind of help it at first because your paper needs to learn how to bend. Okay, now don't do this yet. You need to wait till yours is dry. But I am going to double check everything. And ta-da! It fits in. Yay! Okay, now we're going to catch up and get our bubbles done. Let's go ahead and do our bubbles. Again, this is going to be personal preference. I just thought, because you need space to sign right here. And two, and again, this is personal preference. Okay, and then one of these. And I start out with the bigs here on the bottom, and they'll slowly get smaller. And then if you have any left over and you want to come back and add a few more here and there, that's great. I have it set up, and that's probably what I'll do. But what I usually do is make sure I have enough for this other part, and we'll probably end up having a couple extra. Totally your decision. Now, this one I put pretty close to the bottom. And then this one is going to go about right there. And then I need a light colored one. And it's going to go here. So I'm going to kind of cluster these at the bottom, and then you know how water boils. You have bigger bubbles, and then as they get higher, they get smaller. So I am going to do one more here. I'm starting to make these farther apart. Okay. Trying to sort of make it look natural. Not that a witch making potions is natural, but you know what I mean. Okay, one more of these kind of medium size, and it's not even going to be touching. Okay, just like that. Okay, now let's do the top. Since we've started with those, let's start with another one, but a little over to the right. Lost my grip there. Okay, we'll start right here. Then I have one more larger light colored one. So I'm going to go right here. And I don't want to alternate them too much because that would be boring. You know, dark green, light green, dark green, light green. So I'm going to put another light here. And we're just going to gradually get smaller. Okay, here's this one. This is about the size of a thumbtack, probably. There we go. Another light colored one, that same size. Now, I'm going to make these a little farther apart. Then I am going to put now, you see how those are starting to look too much like a ladder? You know. So this one, I'm going to actually connect. And one more light one. And you make it how you like it. You know, how you think it looks good too. Okay, and then one more really small dark one, kind of like right there. Okay, how's that look? Looks good, huh? Okay, now we've got these excess parts on our mechanics, which is very easy to fix. I am just going to, where your triangle is glued on right here, all the way here to the end, I'm going to cut like a diagonal, okay? Let me see if I can show you on camera. I'm going to go kind of up under this boo. Don't get the back of your card in it, okay? And then I'm just going to trim it all the way to the bottom of the triangle. See that? Same with this side. And this one's not glued, so this makes it easy. You can do it a little thicker if you want. There you go. And then we're going to do the same on the top. Now, the glue's on this top. So we're actually just going to trim it even right here. There we go. And this guy. Did I already get him? Nope. He's got a little bit of a sliver here. Not much. And you know what? Whoever gets your card probably won't even notice. But this is a you thing. Okay, look at that. Now, once you get it done, you're going to have to have it practice a bunch so it knows exactly what to do. Your paper needs to learn how it is going to move. And look at that. Look what you made. You did a great job. Look how cute that is. I am very proud of you.